Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games, and today we are opening box number 2 of Murders at Karlov Manor. This one is a play booster box, and it is number 2. I ordered this one from TCG Player at their discount rate during their 48-hour special. This was $129, so let's go ahead and open up, see what we get, and see if there's anything worthwhile. While the prices of these singles are crashing, it's still a lot of fun to open some boosters, so let's go ahead and do it and see if we get our money's worth. So here we are with booster box number 2 for Murders at Karlov Manor. This is a play booster set, and like I said before, Wizards has nice little wrapping. Too bad it doesn't have symbols all the way around. I don't know what difference matters. It's original packaging because you can still tell if it's going to be opened if they don't put a hologram sticker like they do on their bundles. So let's go ahead and open it up, see what we get. Score it with a knife, make it easy. Inside this box is 36 packs of new play boosters. New play boosters are designed to be played and collected, just like set and the old draft boosters alike. Let's see here. There we go. Inside there's a little clue to see if you can solve, and then also inside is different draft archetypes. Like you're going to buy an entire box to learn. Let's go ahead and open up individual packs. Pack number 1. What I look for out of this box are mostly the Surveil lands. Let's go ahead and zoom in just a bit. Scoot those into the frame. And this is a 2 rare pack. I'm just going to talk about the rares. The uncommons don't really have much of value, but we'll stop with the rares. This is a foil blood splatter analysis. 1 red, 1 black. Enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target creature an opponent controls. Too bad it doesn't say Planeswalker too, because that would be worthwhile. Whenever an opponent, when 1 or more creatures die, mill a card. Put a Bloodstain counter on this card. Then sacrifice if it ever has 5 or more Bloodstain counters on it. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. I don't know if that's going to see play. I'm going to try to make it work. No witnesses. No witnesses to white 2 colorless sorcery. Each player who controls the most creatures creates a clue token, and then destroy all creatures. Nice little Wrath of God effect. On to the next booster. This is booster pack number 2. 1 rare, 1 rare pack. This one is a case. Case of the Ransacked Lab. 1 blue, 2 colorless for enchantment case. Instants and sorcery spells cost 1 less to cast and then to solve. You cast 4 or more instances and sorcery spells this turn. And then solved, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get to draw a card. So it encourages you to play with lots of cheap instances and sorceries. Number 3. Trying to go through this in record time. Single rare pack, Homicide Investigator, 1 black, 1 colorless. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. And it's a 2/2. There you go. Next one. It's nothing special. In fact, that probably should be an uncommon since it only triggers once per turn. Single rare pack. No art card. This is Hide in Plain Sight. 1 red, 1 green, 3 colorless, sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Cloak 2 of them. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then, yeah, so you get the Cloak 2 cards. And hopefully they're cool creatures. Next pack. Number 4. 5. Art card. Single rare pack. Audience with Trostani. 1 green, 2 colorless, sorcery. Create a 0/1 green plant creature token. Then draw cards equal to the number of different named creature tokens you control. Great for creature token decks. Next pack. 7. Art card. There you go. Nice set card. Treacherous Terrain. 1 green, 1 red, 6 colorless. It has basic land cycling too, so you can pay 2, discard it, and you can search your library for a basic land card. Or you can just cast it for the 1 green, red, 6 colorless. Treacherous Terrain deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of lands that player controls. Double rare pack, which is great. So, Thundering Falls. It's a land, island, mountain. It's one of the surveil lands, so it comes into play tapped. It taps to reduce a blue or red, and when it comes into play, you get to surveil 1. Second rare is Outrageous Robbery. 2 black, X colorless. Target opponent exiles the top X cards of their library face down. You may look at them and play those cards as long as they remained exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana as though they were any color to cast it. All right, next pack. Art card. Single rare pack. Yaris, Roar of the Old Gods. 1 green, 1 red, 2 colorless. Other creatures you control have haste, and whenever 1 or more face-down creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get to draw a card. Whenever a face-down creature you control dies, returns to the battlefield face-down under its owner's control. If it's a permanent card, then turn it face up. That card's amazing. That goes great in the new Disguise deck. That is out of the Commander series. If you need more information about it, I have a video on it. Check out my video listings. Art card. Double rare pack. First one is Commercial District. One of the surveil lands. This one is a mountain forest, so it taps, reduces red or green. Enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, you get to surveil 1. Connecting the Dots. I had great time using this card in the pre-release. I don't know how good it's going to be in regular constructed play because it does require you to attack. So if you do draw it when you have all your creatures removed, it's going to be pretty much a dead drop. So the text on it is 1 red, 1 colorless. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile the top card of your library face down. And then for a red and a colorless, discard your hand, sacrifice Connecting the Dots, put all cards exiled with Connecting the Dots into their owner's hands. Next pack. Detective Token. Single rare pack, Cryptex. 2 colorless mana, artifact. This card doesn't feel great to pull. It's a artifact. It tasks you to collect evidence 3, so you have to remove total casting cost of cards of up to 3 or greater from your graveyard. When you do, you get to add 1 mana of any color, put an unlock counter on a Cryptex, and then sacrifice this card, surveil 3, then draw 3 cards. Activate only if it has 5 or more unlocked counters on it. If you have some way to be able to put counters on it other than having to collect evidence, it might be a good card. I don't know. Have to wait and see. Double rare pack. Shadowy Backstreet. Yes, the Backstreet Boys are back again, and this time they tap to produce plains or a swamp. And it enters the battlefield tap, and then when it enters the battlefield, you get to surveil 1. Yeah, another surveil land. That's great. Judith Connoisseur. 1 black, 1 red, 3 colorless. It's a 3/4 legendary creature, human shaman. And whenever you cast an instance or sorcerer spell, you get to choose 1. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, or you get to create a 2/2 red imp creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. This card, I can't wait to build a commander deck from it because she is going to be groovy. A lot of cards that you think are bad become amazingly good with her. Another art card. Single rare pack. Sharp-Eyed Rookie. 1 green, 1 colorless. It's a 2/2 creature, human detective, vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than this card or this creature's power, or if its toughness is greater than this creature's toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, and you get to create a clue token. Fun. Pretty good card. I wonder how good it's going to be in Constructed. Tokens card. Single rare pack. Pyrotechnic Performer, 1 red, 1 colorless. Disguise of 1 red, so you can pay 3 to put it in play as a cloaked creature. It's a 3/2 cloaked creature, and then it has that ward 2. And then for when you pay that 1 to undisguise it, you get to have it turn face up. And when it turns face up, or another creature turns face up, it's going to deal its damage to its power to target opponent. Next card. Next pack. Art card. Double rare pack. First one is Wojek Investigator. Wojek Investigator is 1 white, 2 colorless. It's a creature angel detective. It's a 2/4 flying vigilance. At the beginning of your upkeep, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. And it's a 2/4 flying vigilance. Cryptic Coat. I've seen someone try to play this against me. I thought it was interesting, not incredibly efficient, but for 1 blue, 2 colorless, it's an artifact equipment. When it enters the battlefield, you get a cloak top card of your library, and then attach this card to it. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 and can't be blocked. And then for a blue and 1 colorless, you get to return this card to its owner's hands. So you can pay 3, put it in play, get to go through and put a face down card into play from the top of your deck, and then you can pay 2 mana, anytime. So you can do it at the end of your opponent's turn to put this card back in your hand. So if it's not attached, or if it's still attached to a card, you get to go through and put it back in your hand, and then the next turn you can pay 3 to put it in play again. It is a process. I think it might be a little slow. You don't know. Maybe there's going to be some combos that go along with it. Single rare pack. Unyielding Gatekeeper for 1 white, 1 colorless. It's a 3/2 creature elephant cleric. And then you could pay 3 to put it in play cloaked. Or you could just go ahead and pay the 2 to put it in play as a 3/2. And then when it's cloaked, though, you can go through and pay the disguise cost of 1 white, 1 colorless to flip it face up. When it turns face up, exile another target non-land permanent. If you controlled it, return it to the battlefield tapped. Otherwise, its controller creates a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. It's a lot of steps to be able to exile a card, and it has a penalty. So I don't know how effective it's going to be, but for a 3/2 for 2, that's not bad with other ability for late game. Can't really complain too much. Single rare pack, Analyze the Pollen. For 1 green, it's a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect evidence 8 exile cards with total mana value of 8 or greater. From your graveyard, search your library for a basic land card. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature or land card, reshuffle, and put that card in your hand. Next pack. Come on, Surveillance. Double rare pack. Lamplight Phoenix. That's an interesting card. So it's 2 red, 1 colorless, it's 3/3, and has flying. Creature Phoenix. When it dies, you may exile it and collect evidence for it. If you do, return it to the battlefield tapped. There you go. It's a 3/3 with flying. If it had haste, it would definitely go in every single red deck. Because it doesn't have haste, I don't know about that, but if you have a bunch of instants and sorceries, you're able to keep it in play. You're able to keep it being a target, or you can also just being able to keep things in play is hugely important. Next one is Ill-Timed Explosion. 1 blue, 1 red, 2 colorless instant or sorcery. Draw 2 cards. Then you may discard 2 cards. When you do, Ill-Timed Explosion deals X damage to each creature, where X is the greatest amount of value among cards discarded this way. Not much to say about that card. Token, foil land, foil agency corner, and then Officious Interrogation for 1 blue, 1 white instant. This spell costs an additional white and blue more to cast for each target beyond the first. So choose any number of target players. Investigate X times, where X is the total number of creatures that those players control. Group hug card for sure. If you just want to target yourself, that's always good too. And there is a set card and a mythic. Yeah, first mythic of the box. Vein Ripper. 3 black, 3 colorless creature vampire assassin. This is 6/5 flying, and then ward, sacrifice a creature. So if someone wants to be able to target it, they have to sacrifice a creature. Whenever a creature dies, target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Fun, 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 fun. Tegrid's gonna love that. Can't wait to put that in Tegrid deck. Shard of Broken Glass, 1 colorless artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever a creature attacks you, you may put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you can equip 1. It's an interesting card to be able to go through and penalize your opponents, or it's not really penalizing, but it makes it so it's a malefact when someone attacks you. Interesting. Glad it is a set card, and it's not legal, because that's just a strange card, strange common. Next pack. Art card. Double rare pack. Seems to be like most of these double rare packs include one of the lands, which is good, which is always good. I like the Surveil land, so that's not terrible. It doesn't feel bad getting those lands in place of another card in your pack if you're playing a sealed event. But you know, if it's a second rare, that's never a bad thing. So Meticulous Archive is the white blue, so it's a Plants Island, and taps to reduce a white and a blue. It comes into play tapped, and when it enters the battlefield, you get Surveil 1. Fugitive Codebreaker. I know a lot of red players love this card. For 1 red, 1 colorless. It is a creature Goblin Rogue, 2/1 prowess haste, and then disguise of 6. So you can put it in play for the cloak price of 3. So it becomes a 2/2 with ward 2. And then you can pay the cost of 1 red, 5 colorless. This cost is reduced by 1 colorless for each instance and sorcerer card in your graveyard. When it's turned face up, you can discard your hand and draw 3 cards. So late game red, early game red. This is a pretty good red card. Haven't seen much on Arena yet, but time will tell. Next pack. Clue token. Oh, one of my favorite cards from the set, Archdruid Charm. So for 3 green mana, it is an instant, and you have to choose 1. Search your library for a creature or land card, reveal it, and put it onto the battlefield tapped if it's a land card. Otherwise, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Second ability, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. It deals damage to its power to target creature you don't control. Too bad it doesn't target planeswalkers. And the last ability is you can exile target artifact or enchantment. So it's really a circumstantial card. You're able to play it a lot of different ways. I think this card overall has some significant play. 3 green mana is going to restrict it to being played in a 1 or 2 color deck. 3 colors, you're really pushing it, because that third base is going to be difficult unless you are playing with a lot of triomes or 2 colored lands. Next pack. Another art card. Single rare pack. Drag the Canal. 1 black, 1 blue. Instant, create a 2/2 white and blue detective creature token. If it's a creature died this turn, you get to gain 2 life and then surveil 2, and then you get to investigate. So it does a lot of things. If a creature died this turn, you get to create a token, and then you get to gain 2 life and surveil 2, and then you get to investigate. It does so much for 2 mana. Will it see play? I think it will, especially because you play it as an instant to reaction of someone destroying your creature, or if you play a reaction, you destroying someone else's creature. So it's a cool card. Let's go ahead and see next pack. Another art card. This is a cool rare card. I wish it was a mythic instead because I don't want to see that many more of them. I've already gotten a couple. So Elite Line of the Guild Pack has combination colors. So you can choose a green or white, or a green plus a green or blue, plus a black and green, plus a black or green, or red or green. So four combination of colors. It's an enchantment. If it's in your opening hand, you can begin the game with it on the battlefield. Each non-land permanent you control is all colors. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to other types. So it really encourages you to play four, so you're able to get in your opening hand. And then if you already have one in play, if you draw another one, it's kind of a dead card. But if you're playing a 5-color deck or even a 4-color deck, playing, you can do four green in order to play it if you really wanted to. It makes it so all of your creatures or all of your lands are all types, which is huge. So you're able to produce any color mana you want anytime with your regular basic lands, or even lands that have no produce any color. Next pack, remove single rare pack. Aurelia, the Law Above. 1 white, 1 red, 3 colorless, 4/4 flying, vigilance, haste. Whenever a player attacks with 3 or more creatures, you can draw a card. And whenever a player attacks with 5 or more creatures, this card deals 3 damage to each of your opponents, and you gain 3 life. So, if a player, doesn't matter if it's you or one of your opponents, attacks with 3 or more creatures, you can draw a card. And then, if they attack with 5, you get to draw a card and do 3 damage to each of your opponents, and you gain 3 life. Lots of fun for a 4/4 flying vigilance haste. Next pack. This is a great reprint. Assassin's Trophy. For 1 green, 1 black, it is an instant destroy target permanent opponent's controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card and put it in the battlefield and then shuffle. So this really gets rid of anything that doesn't have hexproof. And it just the drawback on it is they get to go get a basic land. It can destroy planeswalkers, it destroys enchantments, it destroys artifacts, it destroys creatures, it destroys anything that's in play, except for lands. So it's it even destroys lands. It just, the opponent goes and gets a basic land if they have basic lands in their deck. Card's amazing. Next pack. Set card. And regular rare. Let's go with the set card first. Bishop of the Bloodstained, 2 black, 3 colorless, 3/3 creature vampire cleric. When this card enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life for each vampire you control. So if you're playing all vampire deck, you can do a lot of damage. And then Niv Mizzet Guild Pact. So for 1 of each color mana, it's a legendary creature dragon avatar that's 6/6 flying hexproof from multicolored. Whenever this card deals combat damage to a player, it deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards, and you gain X life, where X is a number of different color pairs among permanents you control that are exactly 2 colors. So Niv Mizzet will not count to that. So it rewards you for playing lots of 2-color spells. Not 3 colors, but 2-color spells. So if you have 2, or it has to be more than 2 to be able to get X to be more than 1. Wow, it's a lot going on. But if you have 3 cards, there's a couple of different combinations to be able to get X. Next pack. Mythic and a rare. Love double rare packs. First one is a case of the Stashed Skeleton. For 1 black, 1 colorless enchantment case. When this case enters the battlefield, create a 2/1 black skeleton token and suspect it. So it gains suspect. To solve, you control no suspected skeletons. So that creature had to have died somehow. So either you can sacrifice it, or you can go through and attack in and have your opponent just kill it. And then solved, you can pay a black and a colorless to sacrifice this case. Search your library for a card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. Activate only as a sorcery. It's great card. It's a lot of steps to be able to go through and search your deck, but at the same time, it is not a bad card. Next card is a Kyloxis Volt Strider for 1 blue, 1 red, 1 colorless. It's a 4/4 artifact vehicle that you have to crew to in order for it to be a creature. Collect evidence 6. So if you collect evidence 6, this card becomes a artifact creature till end of turn, so you don't have to crew it. And then whenever it attacks, you may cast an instance or sorcerer spell from among cards exiled with it. If that spell would be put into your graveyard, put it on the bottom of its owner's library instead. Good times, good times. A lot is happening here at this card. It allows you to go through and recast spells from your graveyard just by going through and collecting evidence. Though evidence 6, it's going to be a lot to be able to do that, but there's a lot of spells to be able to put cards in your graveyard. A lot of red spells that cost 1 red, 1 colorless to, discard a card to draw 2 cards, or discard a couple cards, discard your hand, and then this can really get going. Then you can feed those cards back to the bottom of your deck after playing them again. Next pack. We got 10 packs left. Single rare pack. Kylox, Visionary Inventor. For 1 blue, 1 red, 5 colorless. It's a 4/4 legendary creature via Shino Artificer. Menace, Ward 2, Haste. And when it attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures. Then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instants and or sorcery spells from among the exile cards without paying their mana cost. Wow, that works really well with that vehicle, but at the same time, it just is amazing. If you're playing with lots of instants and sorceries, you're able to, if you get to the 7 mana, it's going to be a pretty quick game after that, being able to cast all those spells for free. Next pack. Got a double rare pack and a set card. The set card is a Croissant Husker. This is a great card for Commander. For 2 green, 5 colorless, 6/5. It's a kind of a static creature, but you can cycle it for 1 blue, 1 green, 2 colorless, cycling. So you discard your card from your hand and draw a card. When you cycle this card, you may search your library for a basic land card, reveal the card, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your library. And then after you shuffle your library, that's when you get to draw your card. So it's a great card for green, 2 colorless. You're able to go through and put 2 cards in your hand. One of them is going to be a basic land card. It's a great card. I play with it all the time in a lot of my different decks. Hedge Maze, another Surveil land. This time it's a forest island, so it taps to produce a green or a blue. And when it enters the battlefield, it enters the battlefield tapped. And when it enters the battlefield, you get the Surveil 1. Alquist, Proft Master Sleuth. 1 blue, 1 white, 1 colorless. It's a 3/3 vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, you get to investigate. And then for a 2 blue, 1 white, and X colorless, you could sacrifice a clue, draw a card, or draw X cards, and gain X life. At the end of your opponent's turn, you can tap it and then sacrifice a clue to draw all kinds of cards. Good card. Especially for a 3/3 for 3. Not bad. Next pack. Another double rare pack, and the second rare happens to be a Surveil land. I wonder if that happens to be a trend. I think it's kind of cool. Underground Mortuary, another Surveil land. This time it's a Swamp Forest, so it taps to produce a black or a green. When it enters the battlefield, tapped, and then when it enters the battlefield, you can Surveil 1. Axebane Ferox. I see this card being played in a lot of red-green decks. For 2 green, 2 colorless, it's a 4/4 Death Touch Haste. And then in order to target it, it has Ward, Collect Evidence, Force. So they have to remove casting costs of 4 or greater in order just to target it from their graveyard. That's so good. Next pack. Another art card. Well, rare. Triple rare pack. Triple rare pack. The first one is Case of the Crimson Pulse. It's a case for 1 enchantment case that is a 1 red, 2 colorless. When it enters the battlefield, discard a card. Then draw 2 cards. And then to solve it, you have no cards in your hand. And then once it's solved, at the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand. And then draw 2 cards. So, you know, yeah, just having to discard your hand, if you already have no cards in your hand to solve it, that makes it even better because you could draw 2 cards in your upkeep, and then you draw 1 for your draw phase. So now you have 3 cards to play during your turn and your opponent's turn before you have to go through and discard them to repeat that process. Card's pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not an instance or sorcery for the new blue-red cards, but it is a fantastic way for a red deck to draw cards. Speaking of red decks, Krenko Barrington Street. It's 1 red, 2 colorless. This is the one of the case cards. Legendary Creature Goblin. It's a 3/3 with haste. Tap to sacrifice an artifact. Put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. Whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay a red. If you do, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token. It gains haste till end of turn. So if you're able to go through and start discarding cards to be able to put counters on things, you know, I'll tap it to sacrifice a clue. Now that the artifact is going to the graveyard, I will pay a red to put a goblin token into play. Now it's gonna, the +1/+1 things will resolve, and he will get a +1/+1, and the goblin will get a +1/+1. It will get out of control pretty fast. 3rd rare of the pack, Hunted Bone Brute, 1 black, 2 colorless. It's a creature, skeleton beast, 6/2 with menace. When it enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2 1/1 white dog creature tokens. And then when this creature dies, each opponent loses 3 life. And then, instead of paying the 3 to be able to cast it, you could pay 3 colorless to cloak it. And then you could pay 1 black and 1 colorless to flip it face over as disguised. If you're already attacking before, if opponent didn't have a chance to block, you're able to go through and pay the disguise cost of 2 to be able to flip it face up to be able to hit your opponent for 6. It's an interesting card. Don't know if I would play it like that, but it's an interesting card. Next pack, down to the final 6 packs out of a 36-pack booster. Counters. Another mythic. It's a good mythic this time. Delaney Streetwise Lookout for 1 white, 2 colorless. Is a 2/2 legendary creature human scout. Creatures you control with power 2 or less can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. If an ability of a creature you control with power 2 or less triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So this goes great in a Mother of Machines deck, in Commander, or any deck that has lots of come into abilities that come into play abilities that have power 2 or less. Fun card. Can't wait to put that in my Mother of Machines deck. Down to last 5 packs. I'm still missing some mythics, so fingers crossed, get some more mythics and some more Surveil lands. Double rare pack. First one is Doorkeeper Thrall for 1 white, 1 colorless. It is a 1/2 creature Thrall, flying and flash. Artifacts and creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. It's perfect to go against my Mother of Machines deck. Another one is a Krenko Baron of Tin Street, regular art. So that's going to be second one of the box. Last 4 packs. This box is going pretty fast. Art card. Set card. No set rares. Ooh, double rare pack. Vanifar, Evolving Enigma. 1 blue, 1 green, 2 colorless. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, choose 1. Cloak a card from your hand. So you get to put it in play face down as a 2/2 creature with Ward 2. Then you could turn it face up for its mana cost if it's still a creature. Or you can put a +1/+1 counter on each colorless creature you control. Fantastic card. Fantastic. Great mythic. Illicit Masquerade for 1 black, 3 colorless. It's an enchantment. Flash, when it enters the battlefield, put a imposter counter on each creature you control. Whenever a creature you control with an imposter counter on it dies, exile it. Return up to 1 other target creature card from your graveyard to your battlefield. So this is going to reward you for someone's getting ready to kill your creatures. Great, you're going to go ahead and play this as a reaction, as a flash. So you can play it, instead of playing it on your turn during one of your main phases, you can go through and play it at any time you can play an instant. And your creature's going to die? Great. Something bigger is going to come back from the graveyard. Great card. Fantastic card. And then set card, Mysterious Key. 1 blue, 1 colorless. Artifact equipment. When a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice a Mysterious Key. If you do, draw 3 cards. It will only cost 1 mana to equip. Doesn't have any other stats, but it's a good way to be able to draw some cards. It's an artifact. Does a few things. Too bad it's also not a clue. That would fit in very well into the set. Haven't seen any rare set cards yet. Hopefully we can get one. Single rare pack. World Soul's Rage. 1 green, 1 red, X colorless sorcery. This card deals X damage to any target. Put up to X target lands from your hand and or graveyard onto the battlefield tab. So if you've got some lands in your graveyard, or if you have a bunch of lands in your hand for some reason, you're able to cheat them in play with this card, and it's going to do X damage to some target. Next pack. I don't know if this is a great rare. This set feels like it's got a lot of not great rares. Next pack. Speaking of not a great rare, Coveted Falcon, 2 blue, 1 colorless, artifact creature bird. It's a 1/4 flying. You can go through it and cloak it for 3. And whenever it attacks, gain control of target permanent you own but don't control. And if you go through and pay that disguise card for 1 blue, 1 colorless to flip it face up when it's cloaked. When it's turned face up, target opponent gains control of any number of target permanents you control. Draw a card for each one they gain control of this way. So you're able to give a bunch of cards to your opponent, and then you can attack to take 1 back. Last pack of the box. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. If you did, please like and subscribe. I hope you have a fantastic time playing Magic this coming week. I know I have. This is a double rare pack. There's the art card. This one is a rare with the other the showcase art. So 1 green, 2 colorless sorcery creates a 0/1 green plant creature token. This is Audience with Trostani, which we've already saw. And the second rare of the pack is Treacherous Greed. 1 black, 1 white, 1 colorless. It's an instant as an additional cast. To cast this spell, sacrifice a creature that dealt damage this turn. Then you get to draw 3 cards. Each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. Now, if you have creature tokens that are going to die, if they dealt damage, fantastic. Or if you got something that's going to die anyways, that doesn't help. But if it dealt damage, or if it was dealt damage, it has to have survived, so it's going to have good toughness. You'll be able to gain some life. Well, until next time, I hope you guys have a great week, and until next time, keep them rolling! And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day, and keep them rolling.